Okay, I haven't put out a video in over a month, but the Steam machine just got released, and this video is about Steam and SteamOS. And I recently got my new Steam Deck, so I felt like I'm kinda in the ballpark on what I want to discuss. Mainly, not the machine and its prices, because honestly, I couldn't care for the Steam machine whatsoever. Out of the lineup that Valve released last November, the only one I was very much interested in was the Steam controller. Admittedly, I am one of those few people out there in the universe that do own the original Steam controller, and as much as I love that beautiful controller, I haven't been using it for like ever since I bought it. I think I tested out a couple of months in, but I still really enjoy it. The only thing that's pretty dated about it today is just the fact that it uses the old micro SD. I no, not micro SD. What am I thinking about? I'm thinking about the. Hold on. Let me actually search this up real quick. Before Type C. Yeah, micro USB. It uses a micro USB. That's the only thing dated about the entirety of the old Steam controller. Mind you, I'm one of those people who don't really mind the two massive trackpads and having only one Joy-Con. In fact, I play my games, I can easily play my games with one Joy-Con and the trackpad. As long as that trackpad does acts similarly acts like a roll ball, which obviously you can customize in the Steam settings. So I'm completely fine with the original Steam controller, except the fact that it uses micro USB, because we live in a society in 2026 where micro USB is completely dated, and even getting that charger in stores is completely a whole different process. And my old one that I was currently using broke on me, so I thought the Steam controller was broken, but in fact the micro USB cable was broken. So now I need to get a new one. Thus, I haven't been playing it so much. Mind you, Bluetooth is also enabled, but I do not own the original USB. I feel like if the original Steam controllers are out there, the USB ports of it are even less so out there. I do kind of think the same thing will happen with the new Steam controllers, where people will sell the controller but not necessarily their puck. Mind you, the puck can connect up to four controllers, which is amazing. Really, it's really cool. But the original Steam controller had a USB and it was a one-to-one connection, and I'm afraid most individuals sold it without the original USB included. This is secondhand, by the way. I got mine last year sometime, and honestly, like I'm gonna pick it up right now. I'm gonna open the zip. I got the case for it. Like, it was a worthy purchase. It was a phenomenal purchase because everything about the controller works fine. The case super presentable, but the case also has these like empty slots, and I do believe that's where the USB thing's supposed to be, to easily just play this via Bluetooth connection on my PC. But the issue is, they weren't designed for Bluetooth. Inherently, the new Steam controllers are obviously a better product than anything else out there. Personally, I'm a Valve sucker. I own the original Steam controller. What you expect me to say? By the way, I do just want to pause the Steam controller talk and really focus on what this video is really about. And that's really, out of the controller came the Steam machine and Steam frame. When the new VR headset launches, obviously I'm not expecting the price to be anything reasonable. It's going to be mad expensive, and I'm probably not even going to get it. But I just want to see the capabilities it has compared to the others on the market, and whether or not I should really hold off Half-Life Alyx until supposedly Half-Life 3 comes out. But besides that, let's focus back on the Steam machine. So before this device really came out, there was nothing about it that really, the form factor really spoke to me, and the amazing SteamOS. You can take out the amazing part of my previous sentence. Why I'm saying that is just because that's the piece I was really hoping for. While everyone else was talking about how it's gonna change Linux gaming, I for one already switched. Do not try to switch people to Linux from Windows. They will do it themselves. You do not need to convince anyone. Valve doesn't need to convince anyone. Just work on the platform, make it better, and people will naturally go to it. If one day we wake up and all games that don't work with anti-cheat somehow work with Proton, which immediately they already do, but if companies decide, okay, fuck it, we're gonna allow Linux, then we immediately will have an influx of new gamers, really PC gamers in general, coming to Linux. Now, what I had in mind was Valve marketed productivity. Now, I am a gamer, but I'm also a productive man. I mean, I want to work, I want to code, I want to do all these different type of stuffs that include my personal interest. And what really facilitates that is a proper OS. Now, as much as people were hyped for Steam, all the Steam stuff that were coming out, the Steam machine specifically, I was mostly hyped about SteamOS because I really immediately thought that the launch of Steam Machine would coincide with the sort of 1.0 or general openness or ISO file download and install in any machine SteamOS version. But obviously that did not come out, and immediately SteamOS itself is really, really SteamOS. Like it's SteamOS, capital Steam, and then OS. It's not really meant for any other device besides Valve's devices, the deck, and so forth. Now, what's really disappointing is the fact that the OS part is really, well, we don't really think about consoles with OSs. You know what I mean? As much as each console has its own unique user interface, we don't really think of them like a specific distro. If you're a Linux bro, you'll know what I mean, or a specific Windows version. As much as the PlayStation 1 is, retro in every aspect, and 2, as much as we love those beautiful blocks, and PlayStation 3 smooth graphics, and Xbox is green. I never really own an Xbox console, so that's all I know. It's the green guys, the goblins. As much as all those consoles have its own unique style and formatting, we don't really think about them as an OS because it's really not. It's much more like a platform. Like as much as Play Store is an OS. I don't know. I thought of Play Store because I've been a mobile gamer for a while, but that's essentially the concept of a console. It's just a box, aka the phone, and all that is installed. I mean, if an Android phone had to be a gamer's phone, all it will do is open lock screen and then enter in Play Store and select the game or the things you already installed and the apps you want to use and yada yada yada. And it's not nothing else, just video games, that's it. No camera, nothing, just video games. And that's the PlayStation. As much as you can watch Netflix now and do all these other stuff and even web browse a little bit, that's not really the main focus. I'll Netflix when I want to, but the most important part, the reason I boot up the PlayStation, is not for Netflix. Smart TVs already have this, okay? And so no one really uses those platforms as a smart television. Well, unless you don't own a smart TV, they use it to just play the video games, to launch and play GTA 6. And SteamOS could have also just been that way. I mean, as much as we love the Steam Deck was pushed as a PC handheld. It's a whole new genre. As much as Nintendo made handhelds before and PlayStation, those do not compare to a PC handheld. Why? Because it's a PC. It's essentially a computer. You could do anything that a computer does slash laptop does on this little form factor. And that's what's key about it. That's what made Valve change the game. It's the OS part of SteamOS. It's the part where you can boot up not only Steam games, but Epic Games and Pirated games, yes, I know. I am playing Legend of Zelda of my Steam Deck. Sue me, Nintendo. But that's essentially that's the only reason why this worked. If Valve launched a capable PC handheld just like the Steam Deck, but the Steam was just Steam and not SteamOS, no one really care because it's already an enclosed platform. It will be, oh, you buy games from Steam, you put them up, you play them, no questions asked. No other function besides playing Steam games. And if that was the case, I don't think the Steam Deck would have been a successful device whatsoever. Maybe for console, or maybe for PC enthusiasts, and maybe I would also own one just because I would cuff it up. But immediately, that would limit it so greatly. And unfortunately, that's the same type of thing I have for the regular SteamOS on the Steam machine. What I mean by this is, as much as Valve does want to make it a console-like platform, I feel like they forgetting the PC side of things. Now, I don't hate consoles. I love my PlayStation 2. It's somewhere out there. As much as I do like the act of sitting on the couch and playing my video games, I'm mostly on my computer. I play games on my computer, and as much as I'm a gamer on a PC, I still do other PC related things. Now with SteamOS, the fact that I'm on Cache specifically on Arch by the way, there's a certain, well, what can I say? There's a certain infrastructure missing from Linux. What I mean by this is mostly all distros besides Ubuntu and maybe other big Red Hat distros out there that are, backed by organizations and other conglomerate companies. Most distros such as Kashi or even Nobaro, for example, perfect example, or even Omachi, another perfect example, is mainly maintained by enthusiasts. It's maintained by people a little bit smarter than you or me on this subject of maintaining an OS, but they just people. They probably have a 9 to 5. They probably do this as a side gig, and infrastructure really requires something bigger than you or me. It really needs an organization, and as much as Ubuntu is frowned upon, I feel like they are fine. It's whatever. I won't use Ubuntu just because it's Ubuntu, but the act of having the go to, oh, if you want a safe, quote unquote, safe option for Linux distro, run Ubuntu. It's maintained by, the Ubuntu organization, and they make ensure every package is installed correctly and there's no sort of viruses. Mind you, I'm not too adverse with the Linux world, the greater Linux world. I just use my OS, man. If anyone else is more advice or more educated than me in this subject, please feel free to comment below. I really want your guys' opinion as well. And the only thing I'm really disappointed by SteamOS or the Steam machine is the fact that it's really centered for console people. And Valve is typically not a console company. You could count with your hands how many games have been released to consoles from Valve. And I don't think Deadlock is going to be on console either. So as much as they sort of advertising to that demographic, I feel like they doing it the wrong way. As they should, as much as they should focus on the console part, they shouldn't really forget the PC. And most people who really want to install SteamOS will install it on their own machine. Now, stuff like Bazite exists, but again, infrastructure. I need a Valve corporation behind my back, knowing that, hey, this boat ain't go sink, and there's multiple users out there with similar rigs, PC components just like mine, and if I ever run into a bug, I have a million other people to also talk to about this because the only issue with Linux, it's so widespread. It's, so many kingdoms, so many distros, and when it comes to options, things come and go. It used to be where users got recommended, what's that green Linux OS again? Linux Mint. There we go. There we go. There we go. Linux Mint. It used to be a point. There used to be a point where Linux Mint was the go-to YouTuber recommendation for anybody for a Linux distro. Or just use Linux Mint, bro. And now it somehow switched to Cashy. And before Linux Mint, it was Pop OS. And before Pop OS, it was Ubuntu. Now nobody wants Ubuntu, and that's really the crux of the problem, because I've dabbled in Linux through my high school career. This is like 2018 or so, and I've seen so many opinions come and go, and that's really the crux of the issue, is just having a beacon that people can go to, like, oh shit, this is Valve's SteamOS. This OS is the one that's gonna fill all my computer related needs. And unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen. Currently, currently SteamOS, I was gonna say Linux OS. Currently, SteamOS is at a state where even on the Steam machine, it is referencing the deck. It's referencing Steam Deck items. And so far, from what I'm seeing, is that it's not ready. It's not ready. I wish they really didn't release this thing and rather maybe release it later, because currently SteamOS or the Steam machine in tandem are in its tasting phase, and whoever's gonna buy SteamOS today, those are gonna be the testers. They're gonna be the frontier men and women who are gonna use Valve's hardware and really push the OS to its limit, and see what the use cases of a Steam machine is in the first place. I mean, the Steam Deck found its place. As much as it's a PC, it's not really a PC. You can't really use it as a normal desktop system, although you can, but again, it's immutable, aka you don't have as many privileges for installing random packages to brick the OS, which is give or take. I mean, there's people out there who really want a system like that where they can basically just do Word and call it a day, and others who really just want to have the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want to, and that's really where I'm coming from. But I don't really see that. I do believe when SteamOS is really at its mature phase, it will be a beacon, and that's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to change the landscape that it's in. All it needs is to point out that Linux as a software solution, as an operating system, is is capable of just being as good as Mac and Windows. And right now, unfortunately, it's not, and that's really the disappointing part of the Steam Machine's release. As much I do want to knock Valve, I know they have only a few amount of employees, and I know most are probably on the Steam platform. That's where they get their bread and butter. But I do sort of expected, a little bit more. And for free OS, maybe not, because generally speaking, it as much as SteamOS will be a valuable thing in the resume, it won't really generate money. Yeah, it won't really generate money if they give out a free ISO. I mean, for the longest time you had to pay for an OS, but now generally you can find a Windows 11 OS for free. And why? Because they're selling you ads. They want you integrated into their platform. And honestly, I think that's something Valve would also want. A lot of people's systems running SteamOS with just the data they could capture from that. And if you don't like a corporation being the backbone of your operating system, hell, that's what Linux is based upon. It's anyone can run it. Even I could make my own distro. And for those who really want that, go for it. They're already out there. But personally, I just wanted the security, the the backing, the fact that I know my OS is not only run by me, but millions of other people out there, and that whenever I have an issue, I can quickly call support, and then I'll get a fix in a day or two. And that's really it. I think I rambled for 31 minutes. I don't know how long this video is gonna be. Hopefully, it's around 10. But that's really the crux of the issue: is that SteamOS is generally not ready. And yeah, I've been using Cashew for like 3, 4 months, 5, 6, and I have moved from KDE to Hyperland. So maybe I'm not even gonna like the fully realized SteamOS. But that's the thing about an OS. You don't really need to like all aspects of it. As long as it does my productivities and plays my video games, I think that's where I am at this point. And yeah, that's really it. Thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe if you want to. Do communicate with me. Do spread that gossip down below. This is a new type of video I'm trying out. I've stopped caring how detailed or good sounding I sound, and just decided I'm gonna put out whatever I want, whenever I want, and however I want, because that's what YouTube is supposed to be, and not a content factory. But yeah, cheers.